News Roundup. It's been a minute since we've had a whole lot of worthwhile news to discuss, but we've got a bit to cover today, and I can't wait to hear your thoughts on it. So without further ado, you guys, we are going to dive in. So make sure you guys like the video. Please make sure you subscribe, share, hype, do whatever you can. We are on the road to 4K subs. Every little bit helps, and it's all free. Check those memberships as well. We'll talk more about that in a bit, but I will see you guys in a hot second. You guys know I got to hit you with a fat intro. What is going on, everybody? How's everybody's week been? It's Friday. It has been a week. But let me know how your week's going. Let me know what you guys have going on this weekend. Anybody doing anything fun? I want to know. Let me know what you guys are doing. Bit of bad news, unfortunately, to kick things off today. Kai Rooney, so Wayne Rooney's son, posted this on Instagram. Looks like he's going to be out for a while. Season's done for young Kai Rooney. Said disappointed to be out for the rest of the season. Back stronger next preseason. So I know he had a little bit of a foot issue earlier on that saw him miss some time. Sounds like maybe that's what it issued, and it sounds like it has required some surgery. So he'll be out. His season's done. We will wish him the best of luck. Is anybody watching any of the academy? He's looked really good. Scored a couple of goals. Kai got a little bit of that dog in him like his dad does. Already has a really good awareness of where to pop up in the box and everything. So liking what I'm seeing from Kai so far. He's got an excellent name. Who wouldn't want to be named Kai? But but we will wish him speedy recovery, and he will come back stronger. The academy is looking really, really good. Obviously, you've got JJ Gabriel, Cheeto's in there doing really well. Jim Thwaites. A lot of really good players in the academy. So the future looks bright as always, but unfortunately, Kai Rooney will have to wait a little bit longer to continue his contributions to the academy. But big up, Kai. Already looking good. So, World Cup qualifiers. Who has been watching the World Cup qualifiers? Now, I don't get all the channels, which is kind of dumb. I don't know what the heck VIX is. That was one of the matches on yesterday that I could not watch. But sorry, Wales. Sorry, Ireland fans. You guys did not qualify. Lost to Bosnia and Czechia, respectively, yesterday, unfortunately. Bosnia will now play Italy. Czechia will play Denmark. Kosovo will play Turkey. And Sweden, Poland. That'll be an interesting one, too. But yes, a couple of the big Cinderella stories kind of out, unfortunately, yesterday, if anybody watched any of those one. What we got in here? JSN, the cool kid, already jumping in, says, I don't understand the push for Tonali. Wouldn't spend that much. Be smart and strategic in terms of how we do business this summer. Yeah, we can. Yeah, we're getting there. We are getting there. I really like Tonali, but he would be expensive. But welcome back, JSN, the cool kid with the cool name. Buati's good, too. I think he recently signed a new contract, so he'll be a really good kind of understudy to someone like an Anderson or something like that, or a Hjulman or something. Dana V's in the house. Yes, please do hit the like button and subscribe for me, you guys. Appreciate that. And before I forget, again, shameless plug, 20% off in the United Everybody online store for the next few days as well. So tons of great designs in there. You guys go check them out. You can see a couple of them just below your video player. Don't click on them yet. That would be rude. Watch the video, but keep it in mind. But you can get all that for 20% off right now. But yeah, World Cup qualifiers. Couple of names out there. Wales, Ireland out as well. A couple of other teams too. So we've still got some final ones to go for, but these groups will be wrapped up shortly, and then everybody can start putting together their brackets and whatnot and seeing how this is going to work out. How do you guys feel about the World Cup now that it's just ever expanding? It's like, I feel like I'm finding it, obviously as a U.S. citizen, as like, I guess you can call me a fan of the U.S. men's national team. It's hard to be because we don't qualify for much, right? We're not in the Euros. Nobody really watches the CONCACAF or anything like that. Don't think we'd be in here if we weren't hosting. So it is what it is. We didn't even qualify a few years back. It's not even that makes me a little disinterested. There's not necessarily a no skin in the game thing. I don't really find international football. There's not much to be gleaned from it. It's kind of like an event, right? It's not really like you're like scouting or anything. Like, it's international football, let's be honest. But I think it's just the money grab of it, similar to the Champions League and whatnot, the UEFA competitions. It's just like the money grab of it all, of just let's get more teams, let's get more matches, it's that whole aspect of it. And I think football in general is kind of getting to that point for me, unfortunately. But yeah, I know, Danny, the Irishman. Sorry, bud. They did. I mean, your boy Troy Parrott got himself a goal. I think it was a pen as well. But unfortunately, it happens. Unfortunately, you guys. But yeah, if any of you Welshmen know Rob Taff, longtime member of the channel, he's Welsh. He's probably a little bummed as well. So we'll see how the groups shake up towards the end. There are a couple of groups that you could probably call the group of death if you want to go that route. But it's not like they're crazy, crazy stacked. But when all that shakes up, we can take a look at brackets and whatnot. Maybe Dylan and I do a show. We'll share our own kind of brackets. And when I last time I did a bracket for a World Cup was 2018, and I think I had Spain going through, and then they sacked their coach like the day before, completely screwed up my entire bracket. So that it kind of took the wind out of my sails for that World Cup. But yeah, so Bosnia will play Italy, Czechia will play Denmark, Kosovo play Turkey, or Turkey if you want to go that route. Sweden versus Poland could be interesting as well. So what's Danny saying? It says it was like watching pub football from the 90s Ireland match. Sometimes that's the way to get it done, honestly. You want to go watch some pub football, go watch the championship sometimes, man. No VAR, muddy, small grounds, really tight pitches. Like I like watching the championship a lot. There's some good players down there as well. You'll see a couple of them pop up in some of my scouting reports now and then. Speaking of scouts and players and whatnot, let's talk about midfield updates. It's probably the worst kept secret in football that Manchester United are looking to overhaul their midfield this summer. You know, who replaces Casemiro? Will Manuel Ugarte stay? Will he go? How many midfielders are we going to get? All the talk seems to have been on Elliot Anderson, Tonali, or Wharton, or Baleba. Those are the four big names that we've seen popped up, right? Well, got a little bit of an update yesterday from Craig Hope. He dropped a big bomb on everybody. This is what he had to say about one of those targets. He says, sources now expect United to make a formal approach to Newcastle after the season's end. United have a midfield shortlist of 3 ahead of this summer. Tonali is said to emerge as the main target, ahead of Anderson and Adam Wharton. Anderson is admired greatly, but is likely to be joining City. So that seems to be the party line here. Elliot Anderson to Man City. Now, I don't know how you guys feel about that. I don't know who your priority is on there. Craig Hope he's a big Newcastle guy for anyone out there who's following along. I always like to make sure I know where the sources are coming from, what the material. So he's a big Newcastle guy. Supposedly, I don't know, there's some people who call him like tier 1. He's a big presence. His reliability is mixed a little bit. There are some people who say he's really good. Some people don't. Like I said, very Newcastle oriented. He has been banned from several press conferences throughout his career. So similar to like Samuel Butthurst, for instance. So let's take that. And there's a reason journalists get banned, right, sometimes. And so I, again, try to give you guys context. I'm not saying he's right. I'm not saying he's wrong. I'm just saying let's have the context. Y'all can decide what you want. But yeah. That he says that Tonali is the top priority for us. Now, remember last week we did discuss the rumor that United had made official contact with Sandro Tonali's representatives. Tonali's agent, has been running his mouth a little bit recently. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know if I want a repeat of the whole Pogba, Mino, Iraola circus every time something popped up. Agents out here in public talking about maybe we'll seek a move away. I would like to avoid that personally. Now, Craig Hope also claims that Bruno Fernandes has expressed support for this signing as well for United, so I don't know where he would be getting that information from. So here's the issue with Tonali, and you guys could let me know your thoughts on Tonali. He's got another 3 years, I think, on his contract at Newcastle. That's a big sticking point. That means the price is going to be up there. And the price that I'm seeing is upwards of £100 million, which is a bit ridiculous, if to be honest with you. Newcastle aren't in Champions League. He wants to play on a big stage, whatever. I get it. A lot of players want to play on Champions League. It is what it is. But again, they're really in no rush. I mean, now you can look at it from a financial standpoint that maybe they can't afford, if they're not in Champions League, to have a lot of these highly paid players in their squad. It is what it is. because they're definitely not going to get, what are they, 10th, 12th? I can't remember off the top of my head. Not my club, not my problem. And reportedly, I've seen that Tonali and the club and Newcastle have this gentleman's agreement that he can leave if they don't qualify for Europe. So I'm not sure where this word gentleman's agreement started coming into transfer negotiations. We saw it with Victor Gyökeres. It's popped up a couple times in the past. Like, just get it in writing. Like, it's just, I don't understand why it's so hard, but I don't know, man. What are you guys saying in here? Danny thinks Tonali is down the list. I really like Tonali. You guys have been watching the channel. You know, I liked him when he was still at Brescia. When he was a teenager, and he was a force of nature. He was basically like the Italian Declan Rice from West Ham at Brescia. Very, very, very good player. Went to AC Milan, obviously, and then went to Newcastle. We come to find out later, some gambling issues, banned from football. That could be a point of concern for a lot of people as well. So there's that. I really like him a lot. Now, whether or not he's what we need it just depends on the manager, really. If it were up to me in putting him in this Carrick system, I don't know if he would. I'm not saying he wouldn't be good. I'm not sure if he's necessary. Now, if we were still playing a Ten Hag or an Amorim system where the midfielders are asked to do a little bit more, then I think Tonali would be a better fit than someone like Adam Wharton, for instance. But in this system, the way that Carrick plays, or if you had like Oliver Glasner, for instance, the compact way, the deeper compact, kind of cut off the lanes, make it difficult kind of system, that I think is perfect for like a Wharton, maybe. And Tonali would probably do fine. I think he's way more mobile. He is a little bit more of Anderson in the way he gets about the pitch and gets involved, whereas someone like Wharton will sit deeper, will shield the defense, and always look to play the early ball, get it forward, get it vertical, create the chances. Now, I did do a big deep dive on Adam Wharton yesterday. You can go check that out. There is a link in the description here. You can let me know your thoughts on why I think Adam Wharton would be perfect for Michael Carrick's system. But I think having multiple profiles, the same with strikers and whatnot. I like multiple profiles in case, depending on opposition for different roles. I don't have a problem with that. But yeah, he wouldn't be top of my list, Tonali, but he's definitely not in the bottom, in my opinion. What else are you guys saying? Danny's not happy about Anderson. Yeah. I mean, never say never until the player's holding the shirt. Yeah, and this is why you don't go too early with journal rumors. Again, I don't claim to break the news. I don't claim to be the first one to talk. I just want to know your guys' thoughts on the news. That's all. That's why we do what we do here. But yeah, you never know who's the top priority, man. These journals are all in a race to go first and to look like and then they all use the excuse like, well, those are my sources, and then it's annoying, man. Things change. So then he wants a press-resistant mid, easy to find. Yeah, ball winners are a dime a dozen almost right now. And like I said, if this were a more open system like under Amorim, I would want maybe a more mobile ball winner who can cover the ground a bit more, or at least it would be more necessary. I just don't know if those are the traits that are top priority in the Michael Carrick system. I think what you're going to want is, again, that ball progression machine, because Cobby is going to keep the ball on the ground. He's going to beat the press. He's going to carry the ball. And we've seen Cobby can actually put in a shift off the ball. He's not a destroyer. He's not a distributor, Cobby, but he has his role. And I think someone like more mobile, a little bit more physical, like a Baleba, and maybe someone like a Wharton, I think would be a good pairing to sign. Debasi's in the house. Says Tonali is so expensive. Some people have started labeling. He's not world class, Tonali. He's definitely not world class. I think there was a time, especially when he was at Brescia, where I thought he had the potential to be world class. It just hasn't quite done. And again, a lot of factors in that. Newcastle, the way they play, Eddie Howe is very much physicality first and foremost, and let's get that ball forward kind of a thing. And so you always want to look at system, and that's why it's important to look at the manager and the system when you're considering signings, because not every signing is going to work in every system. Look at Gyökeres, how much he struggled at Arsenal because of the system they play. They play a hoof it in the box. He's not that striker. Gyökeres likes that ball on the ground in the channels where he can run onto it and get it on the run. He did that at Coventry, he did it at Sporting. Different systems, but it is what it is, man. Danny likes João Gomez. Yeah, I know, man. You've been ringing that bell for a while, man. Wharton, Mateus Fernandes. Yeah, that would be an excellent four right there. Mateus Fernandes, Cobby Mainoo, João Gomez, Adam Wharton would be an excellent combination. Any two of those, I think you could stack up to any different scenario, and they'd probably do just fine. But we'll see. You guys are funny. Interesting enough, Danny, I did just start a new FC 26 save recently, and my first signings of the summer. So you start it in live start points, so it starts like now in real life, right, where the table is. But I already made my signings first. So I got Baleba, Wharton, Malik Diouf, Mateus Mane, and Troy Parrott as my like rotation option with Shesko. So those are my first 5 signings, and then we go from there. But yeah, it is a bit of a bummer about Anderson. I do like Anderson a lot. I think that while he's not like 9 or 10 out of 10 when it comes to chance creation or like ball progression from passing, he's a solid like 6, 7 out of 10 in like everything basically, which I like. But it is what it is. Debasi says, I would not mind Wharton or Stiller. Yeah, you'd asked me yesterday. So obviously the Wharton video was live for members and then it was public after for everybody else. Again, not to exclude, but to show my appreciation for the members. So that's why I do it. But you asked me, Debasi, to look up how Wharton's numbers compare to Stiller, and I did. So Stiller, a little bit more forward ball progression, a little bit more ball carrying, but Wharton is actually a little bit more physical and his chance creation's a little higher. So there's that. I know somebody, I forget who it was. I think it was Stehausen and Ronaldo Brown. They were kind of talking about Wharton, and Ronaldo had made a comment like he's not as defensive as Tonali. He's not as physical, and like you guys saw in that video yesterday, his Wharton's duels and his possession 1 numbers are actually higher than Sandro Tonali. So he is a bit more physical, and it's about the way he plays. Spoiler alert: Wharton is very economic with his tackling. He doesn't give away a lot of fouls. He doesn't actually go for a lot of tackles, but when he does, he tends to win the ball. He is a shield. He's basically Michael Carrick's regen. So, but go check it out. But it's a good video. I had fun doing it. So, but apparently too, Tonali has started following United on Instagram. So apparently that's official. That's a thing. I don't get it. Remember, there was a lot of Bruno Guimaraes talk as well, but that seems to have been nixed too. He is their captain, Bruno Guimaraes. I never quite thought that made sense. Not like I was like, nah, they're not going to do it. Not that I like Bruno Guimaraes, but I'm just judging on what Sir Jim has said about the signing of Casemiro, which would be almost a like for like scenario, signing Bruno Guimaraes, someone who's like 29, big money, big wages, like not going to get a whole lot, like no resale value. Like that to me does not seem like an Ineos kind of signing, quite frankly. And it'd be hard to get him out of Newcastle. But Tonali, not everyone's top choice. He's not my top choice now, but I definitely wouldn't be mad if we got him, for instance, if that makes sense. I just think that for the price, again, the whole director of football mindset in me is like, for that price, we could get like 2 really good players, or even just paying a little bit more, you can almost get 2 or 3 players. So that's how I look at it. I mean, you can do a lot with that. So it is what it is. What are you guys saying here in the chat? Shantana, welcome back. Says Tonali's a great player. Runs from minute 1 to 90. Good in tackles, comfortable on the ball, goal scoring as well. Yeah, I think he'd be a good replacement. I don't think anyone's saying he wouldn't. He'd be an expensive replacement. He probably, I mean, not from what I've seen, he's not everyone's first choice, which is not a bad thing necessarily. Like if I go to a restaurant and my first choice is steak, and it doesn't mean I hate hamburgers. First choice is going to be steak. It is what it is, right? The cool kid, what you got here? Wharton and Stiller are literally the same. They do the same things, but neither of those two are DMs, but they could deploy as such. Yeah, well, go check my video. I don't think necessarily we need a mobile ball winner in this system. It's not as vital in the way Carrick has us set up off the ball, especially in that compact 4-4-2. You're soaking up pressure and then you're looking to hit on the break, which is exactly what Wharton does. So go check out the video I put out yesterday. I look at all the stats and the profile and everything, and some screenshots from some of the way he plays. He's very first touch. Let's get the ball forward. He does do a really good job of shielding the defense as well, Wharton. I compare him to Casemiro, Tonali, Anderson. I didn't do Baleba just because Baleba hasn't played as many minutes. He's probably played about 1,000 less minutes, which when you're doing per 90s and stuff, you really want to have a healthy sample size, especially when you're comparing two. So the numbers can get skewed. Try to explain that to City fans and you're going to get all sorts of idiocy, but hey, it is what it is. Matthias Fernandez and Younger. Yeah, Matthias, he's looked really good dropping into that deeper role. He was a 10 when he was at Southampton. took over for Paquetá in a deep role, and he's looked very good. I would not be upset with that either. Now, the question is about Champions League. Are these players, are the João Gomez, the Balebas, the Mateus Fernandes, are these guys Champions League caliber? Because they might have to play in Champions League, and if you got to, would you stack them up against a PSG or a Real Madrid or a Bayern Munich or something? That's a big question mark right there, and so we'll see how it goes. Let's see, Gabriel Serra. There's a name we've scouted in the past at Galatasaray. You guys remember when I scouted that guy? Used to play at Newcastle or at Norwich, so he is English football experienced. Sticking with midfielders, Nathan Salt has added a new twist to the tale while we're talking about Baleba. This is what he's had to say on another midfielder we've been linked with, that Baleba is viewed as separate to the three-man shortlist. So the Tonali, Anderson, Wharton shortlist for Casemiro replacements. Nathan Salt claims that Baleba is a separate signing as well. We've already done the legwork for Baleba in the summer. If you guys remember, Brighton wanted a lot of money. You can probably get him for a lot less. But Nathan Salt says he is in the second midfielder category. Now, again, this makes it seem like United see Baleba as like, again, their rotation. He's very young. What is he, 21, 22? Developmental player, not the finished article, someone who can come and who's already got experience in the league, but maybe is just not the finished. He's not the guy who's going to start week in, week out. You can arguably say that about Kobbie Mainoo as well, so maybe there's a need for someone on that other side as well. So if this is going to be believed from Nathan Salt, that's kind of what it sounds like United see Baleba as, and I don't have a problem with that. My issue with Baleba was just the dip in form after he was linked to United, and I don't know if he's good enough to start for United. He's not even good enough to start for Brighton. He was the first one subbed off the first half of the season. He's not even starting every game. He would be one I'd be comfortable with as the backup, as the rotation option to develop, maybe in a couple years, see how he goes. I don't have a problem with that. Maybe Mukabi to a 10, Baleba, Wharton midfield. That could be a really good combination. So yeah, depending on the price, I don't have a problem with that. What do you guys think of Baleba as a kind of backup option, a rotation option to a Tonali or an Anderson or a Wharton? As his backups go, I mean, he's an upgrade on Ugarte for sure. Like, hands down, he's an upgrade on Ugarte. Some do argue, man, he's almost a guaranteed starter at Brighton, so why would he want to come to United? Well, again, you kind of answer your question with that. You know, Brighton 8 United. A lot of players will rotate at United instead of starting at Brighton. It's a big step up. I mean, it just is what it is. It's Laurie Whitwell, he was on Talk of the Devils. He seems to think that somehow United do have the money to bring in two big midfield signings that would cost upwards of $70 million apiece. I don't know where that's coming from, but I think you could get Baleba and Anderson and Wharton. You could probably get Baleba for like 45, maybe 50 million with add-ons. You could definitely get Wharton for maybe like between like 55, 65 million. Maybe throw in Toby Collier in there, maybe send Collier back to Brighton or something, or hand him over to Crystal Palace. And you're getting those two players for like the same price as a Tonali. And I don't think there's anything problem with that whatsoever. There's a lot of free players out there as well. If you can look at someone like Arthur Avom at FC Lorient, who is technically out of contract in the summer, but I think that Lorient do have an option for one further year. Matthias Jensen at Brentford, I know Jarvis mentioned him on his channel, is available for free, Premier League proven rotation option as well. Lukas Suchik at Fulham, entering the final year of his contract, 29, 30 years old, could be rotation. Julian Brandt, Dortmund, available on a free. He could be an option to come in and play like a Christian Eriksen kind of role, rotate with Kobbie a little bit, Champions League experience. There's a lot of options out. You can get three midfielders. One of them could be free. That's a shrewd piece of business. And now you've completely overhauled your midfield for the price of one Tonali. That's not bad. Tabasi wouldn't mind Baleba. I wouldn't mind Baleba as a rotation. He's definitely not the starter for me. Then he says, anything over 50 is madness when João Gomez. Yeah, João Gomez is still out there. João Gomez is a bit older. He's a bit of the finished article. You pretty much know what you're getting with him. Would he want to come in and rotate? Is he good enough in Europe or something? The question remark remains. I mean, I like João Gomez. You guys know I like João Gomez a lot. Sophie B, big up. Welcome. Says, aren't we overanalyzing about which players would work for what system, especially when it comes to midfielders? I mean, we're analyzing. I don't know if it's overanalyzing. We're just chit-chatting. Obviously, a lot of it's going to depend on the manager. It does kind of seem like we're leaning more towards Carrick, and so that's the consideration you have to make. you got to filter a lot of the profiles you're looking at through the type of football you're going to play, and it's just the way it is. So I think that in Carrick's system, we've seen there's less mobility in midfield off the ball, more compact shape, more shield, more forcing the play wide by cutting off passing lanes, and then look to break early, hopefully. And I don't think you need necessarily as mobile or physical players as much as someone who's just patient, someone who can read the situation, someone who can, break up play, but then also move the ball. And I think that some of these players do tick those boxes. But you can argue you're overanalyzing anything the more we talk about it. But I like to look at it as we're just chatting. So, but big up, welcome to the channel. The box says, I just hope Carrick has some courage to start Shesko. Against certain opposition, I have thought I've done the 2 videos recently. You can find the links in the video description of the case for Carrick, the case against Carrick. It is a bit of a frustration for me that I feel like, and I feel like I've been kind of justified in my thoughts after the fact that against these low block sides, these defensive sides, Shesko's presence, his movement, his height, his physicality, probably a little better when there's not space to work with than Brian Bumo as the 9. But it is what it is. What you gonna do? Big up, Steph's in the house. Welcome, Steph. Good to see you again. Sophie says, can we just concentrate on players we need currently? Isn't that what we're doing right now for the first 11? I'm always worried about Scott. Well, technically, anybody that we sign needs to be able to start on the day. And that's why it's nice to have different profiles of midfielder. It's why it's nice to have different profiles of striker. You can't just have 3 strikers who are just big poacher, put it in the box. It's good to have someone who's a little bit more mobile, maybe someone who is a little bit more of a false 9, like a Firmino or a Benzema kind of second striker role. It's good to have variety when you're up against different opposition. So everybody technically in the matchday squad, needs to be also a consideration for the starting 11 on a given day against given opposition. It's just the fact, because we've seen what happens when people get injured, that the players we have just can't cut it when they come on. You can see what happens when we come up against certain opposition. We don't necessarily have the tools to unlock a lot of those defense and stuff as of yet, and our midfield's been in need of an overhaul for a while. There are going to be times where we're going to have more of the ball, and we saw when Christian Eriksen is here, where he is a better option, but there are going to be times where we're up against it. Christian Eriksen, not a good option in the pivot. That's why you want to have variety. But let me know what your thoughts are, Sophie. I want to hear what you have to say about the players, Tonali and whatnot. Let's move from midfield to left back, because we've got some left back talk this week, you guys. Please make sure you like and subscribe while you're doing that, you guys. Get involved in that poll too. We're going to get to that poll here shortly, because a lot of left back talk this week. I did a video recently on left back targets that I think United should be looking at. 5 left backs. I did another one, 5 right backs. You can go check those out as well. But we got fresh reports on one of the players that I scouted in those videos. This is coming from the Daily Mail, and this has to do with Eintracht Frankfurt left back Nathaniel Brown. According to the Daily Mail, United scouts were in Germany recently. Nathaniel Brown, the subject of interest, as we watched Frankfurt play Heidenheim just about a week and a half ago. Played well. Now, I've read too that that while Brown was the main focus of this trip for United, Sky have also claimed that we also were keeping watch on Hugo Larsson, midfielder, Swedish, I believe. He is obviously playing for Frankfurt as well. I scouted Larsson last spring, I want to say, if I remember correctly. I really, really like Hugo Larsson. He's a young, really talented midfielder, good all-around midfielder. I think he's very good, very promising. I'm surprised he's still at Frankfurt, if I'm being honest with you, and that's not a slight on Frankfurt. I just think he was ready for a step up, personally. Good midfielder, so it's good that we're looking around. This has Vivell. This reeks of Christopher Vivell, if these rumors are to be believed, because this sounds exactly right up his alley, right up his kind of experience, his history, obviously working with German football. But I like Brown. I think he's a good player. He'd probably be a little bit more expensive than some options. Probably not as expensive as someone like Lewis Hall. But there are a lot of good players out there, a lot of good left backs out there. Sace at Club Brugge is really good. I like Hugo Bueno as a rotation option. At Wolves, if they go down, I really like Malik Diouf. At West Ham, if they look at Cert to go down, I think he would be my top choice to come in and add some depth there. especially when Dorgu can play right, left, wing, fullback. Dorgu can play any side, fullback or winger. Like he can. So it's nice to have that versatility as well. Sophie says, but Carrick and assistant Holland are safe managers. You don't take risks to be more flexible, prefer simple and basic football. So far, it seems like they've kind of done what I think a lot of, especially interim managers do, and really what we saw, like even Ten Hag do to an extent, which maybe you can argue Ruben Amorim should have done a little bit more, was focus on making us hard to beat at the back, build the foundation there, and then work upwards from that regard. Amorim, I thought, maybe tried to change a little too much too soon, and I think that got a bit overwhelming. Carrick has said, you know what, we're going to break it down a little bit. Now we're more defensively solid at the back now than we were under Amorim. We're not scoring as many goals as we did under Amorim, but we're making ourselves difficult to break down, especially when we've got injuries to Delit, injuries to Licha as well. Dorgu's out as well. Mezraoui's in and out of the side. You want to solidify it at the back and then build from there. I get the mindset. I totally get it. And as an interim should not, in my opinion, change too much. That was my criticism with Ralph Ragnick when he was here. He did way too much. There was no need to completely change everything. 4-2-2-2. Like, just keep it simple. Work with the players you have as an interim, and then go from there. Carrick's job is to just get the best out of the players, drop as few points as possible, and hopefully qualify for a champion. Remember, he's on an audition right now too, so he's in the shop window not only for United, but in case United do end up pivoting and going someplace else, he's putting himself in the shop window for other jobs. He could easily go. There are a lot of Premier League clubs that are going to be out of managers. Spurs could be done, Palace, Brighton, Bournemouth. All these clubs could be looking for new managers in the summer as well. So Carrick can go take over Spurs in the Championship and see what happens. Be a little bit of a homecoming for him, right? So we'll see. So I get it. I think that bringing in Steve Holland was a really good move from him. It shows that he's learning, that he's growing from his time at Middlesbrough, even his time when he was interim boss of United in the past. And that's also what I like to see from managers, especially young managers. You've got to be showing that you're learning from mistakes, learning from decisions. Carrick had his brother as his assistant as Middlesbrough. Appointing Holland was a shrewd masterstroke, in my opinion. So we'll see. It's all going to depend on whether or not he stays or he goes, and that's going to dictate a lot of stuff: the way we play, the signings we make, all of it. So, big up Steph. Yes, please hit that like button. Yes, it's free. It helps. It gets the community growing. It gets us closer to 4K. I would love that. The boss says, unfortunately, we don't sign players from West Ham. Just because we haven't doesn't mean we won't. I don't really see the logic there personally. Nothing's off the table as far as I'm concerned. I know people are like, oh, we don't sign players from Leeds. We've done it before. It doesn't make a difference to me. Big up Rob Taff. Sorry for your Welshman, my friend. The Dragons are out, but big up. Hoping for plenty of signings. Harry's recent interview is correct. Hopefully. We've heard it before, though. It's easy to overpromise and underdeliver. That's basically been United's motto for years. Ineos have gotten it pretty spot on with their signings, aside from like Ugarte, though I think that this past summer was a really good summer. But the issue, you can never just rest on that. You can't just be like, all right, good job, we're good. You have to build. It sets the standard and it raises expectations, and you have to build on that and keep going. Because not only are we trying to get this rebuild kind of kickstarted, but we've also got to keep up with other clubs that are doing the same thing, that are already well into their process, that are smarter about it, quite frankly. We've not just been great at it for years, and so we're way behind as it is. We came in way behind. It's kind of like the debt. We came in debt. We've got to claw back to neutral to get back into the black, and that, or the red. That's where we are. But we'll see. It's a Mickey Mouse Cup, and yeah, the World Cup. Nice. It is feeling like that in some regard. I'd rather watch the FA Cup than the World Cup, if I'm being completely honest. It just is what it is, and that's just because I'm a Premier League, I'm a United fan more than I'm like a U.S. men's national team fan. But I'll still watch the World Cup. There's still some fun moments. Robin van Persie's diving header against Spain 2014 was one of the best goals I've ever seen. That was awesome. I think that should have won over James Rodriguez's goal for the goal, but it is what it is. Everybody remembers that. So, but what do you think on Brown? What do you think on Hugo Larsson? What are you guys' thoughts on left backs? Where does that sit on your priority? Who would you sign? I want to know your thoughts. I'm going with Doof. I think that you could definitely, with West Ham going down, that's in with a shout. Bueno is another good solid one. I think everyone's top choice would probably be Lewis Hall. Lewis Hall is very, very expensive. A lot of options. Sace, like I said, at Club Brugge is one I scouted as well. Some good players out there. But speaking of left backs, Ben Jacobs seems to somehow think that United are going to be looking at Miles Lewis-Skelly at Arsenal. I'm all set with Lewis-Skelly. I'm not a fan. He's not getting in a shout. They bought several players ahead of him. They bought Calafiore. Who else is playing there recently as well? Hincapié is kind of playing there a little bit at a time. Like, if you're not getting in, like, just, I'm good. I'm all set on that one. I'm not saying he's bad. I don't need Lewis-Skelly. We're good there. We need someone a little better than that. So Danny likes Due for Truefair. I like Truefair when he was in the French league. He's looked like he's really done well replacing Kirkez for Bournemouth. I think he should have we should have had a penalty from his tackle on Ahmad last time out, but it is what it is. I blame Stuart Atwell and Craig Pawson more than I blame Truefair, but what are you going to do? Let's see. DeBoss says he's probably using our name for a play. Yeah, it could be agent talk. There's nothing wrong with, thinking that. We've seen that many times. Sergio Ramos rings a bell. When he's not, Sergio Ramos does ring a bell. He rang Messi's bell once or twice. Sorry, weird. I always like winding up the Barcelona fans. Big up Brad, though. Brad's a good guy. Rob says, I remember Bergkamp's goal was Argentina. That was a long time ago for me. I was very young at the time. That would have been, for me, I would have been 13 at the time, so quite young. You got to remember, in America, you don't really get access to football during those days, unless you were like super rich or something, or you went someplace who was super rich. And even into the mid 2000s, the mid aughts for the European audience, we didn't really get that. Like, it was, I remember I had a lot of VHS box sets of United, and I didn't get to watch until the season was done, right? Because they had to put it all on box sets. So I didn't see a lot of it till afterwards. Obviously, internet, not really a big thing back in those days, or at least not the way it is now. No streaming services, no YouTube. So it wasn't for a long time that we were able to really get regular access. So, but it was amazing for us. It was awesome. Let's talk about center backs while we're talking about defenders. So remember when Dylan and I did our 200 million pound summer spending spree video, and I shocked you all by ruthlessly moving on from Matthias de Ligt and Lissandro Martinez, and I picked up Jan-Paul van Hecke from Brighton as a big center back signing for my rebuild. He's entering the final year of his contract this year. He could be available for probably as low as like 35 million, honestly, but that's besides the point. If you recall from that show, I also mentioned another center back that we've been linked to in the past that is also entering the final year of his contract that also could be a shrewd piece of business. Now, I'm talking about Benfica defender Antonio Silva. Now, this is coming from Florian Plettenberg, so some people will take this with a pinch of salt, but he claims that Silva could be moving this summer. Benfica do want to extend his contract because, again, he's entering the final year of his contract. Market is being explored. There's also concrete interest from the Bundesliga clubs. Estimated price around 15 to 25 million euros. That is an absolute snip. 15 to 25 million euros. Now remember, we were linked to this kid when it was either Jose or Ollie were still. I can't remember off the top of my head. Really good young defender. I thought he would kick on a little bit more than he has, but it does not mean he's bad at all. But honestly, that's a great deal. But again, if we're going for center backs that are going into the final year of their season, for 10 to 15 more than that, I'd probably still opt for Van Hecke if De Ligt back just turns into a permanent thing, or if Licha picks up another injury this season, I'm done with him. Sorry. Might have to do another final summer spending spree video if we qualify for Champions League 2. Remember, the 200 million was based on a 100 million pound budget and sales as well. So we'll see. An extra 80 million from Champions League will go a long way. But yeah, Van Hecke for me, if we're just fully being ruthless and moving on, maybe keep Harry as like a fourth choice option. But for me, it's Van Hecke, maybe partnering with Euro, partnering with Heaven. Van Hecke to me is basically just a younger Maguire a lot. So Stephanie says Van Hecke is a big unit. Yeah, he's a very, very good player. I love Van Hecke a lot, man. He's a really good defender. Salia, welcome, says, I'll get Lewis Hall over any left back at the moment. If not, Kadiolu from Brighton. And I liked Kadiolu when he was at Fenerbahce. I was extremely disappointed when Brighton picked him up. He can play both sides as well. I think he scored for Turkey yesterday, if I remember correctly. First season at Brighton, a bit rough. I think he got injured, if I remember correctly. But he looks much better now and kicked on. Maybe just all he needed was a little time. But I like Kadiolu a lot. I think he's a really good left back. So big up. Welcome to the channel, dude, as well. What are you guys saying? Boss says problem with Lewis Hall is going to be asked. Yeah, Lewis Hall is going to be expensive. But if they don't get Europe, Newcastle could be in some trouble. They spent a lot of money in the summer. Now they got a lot of money for Isak, but they also spent a lot. Plus, they're still like, I don't know why they spent so much on Elanga. That was a crazy lot of money for Elanga, man. It's insane. DJ Laz Worldwide, welcome. Big up. Hey, amazing fam. Hey, yourself, man. Let us know how your Friday's going, you guys. DJ says, I want City to win. Arsenal fans around my neck. Yeah, get involved in that poll. We're getting there in a second, but I did put a poll out there, and I'm surprised at some of the early votes in that. So I did ask the WhatsApp group. Again, members, a lot of membership perks, one of which is there's a WhatsApp group for the starting 11 and Legends members. Pretty active. Dylan and I took a little bit of an early vacation this week from just content, but we're back into the swing of things now. But yeah, WhatsApp groups available out there. Starting 11 Legends members get to contribute to content, making suggestions for scouting reports, ideas for what if episodes, all that's out there. Go check the perks when you're done here. You guys can check it out. But another defender, and Danny B will want to hear this one that we've been linked to. So again, Ben Jacobs, take Ben Jacobs with a pinch of salt always, but it's always nice to get a little bit of vindication. He claims that United are actually also looking at Charlie Cresswell at Toulouse. Go check out my scouting report, not from earlier this week, but last week or 2 weeks ago. I did a scouting report on Charlie Cresswell, and that was a recommendation from Danny B. Again, perks of membership, you guys. You get to make those suggestions for those players. I will do a scouting report on them, feature them in one of those scouting report videos. Yeah, young English, very physical, very, very good in the air. I think he's 22, 23, playing in the French league. Maybe he wants to come home. But another good physical young center back, I think would do really well. I think everything he brings, Charlie Cresswell, translates very well to the Premier League. Time to come home, Charlie. I'll take him. He's a really good player. And then obviously Harry Maguire, we got a stamp of authority from Fabrizio Romano that Maguire will be signing a new deal at United, a 1 year plus one year option on reduced wages as well. So sounds like Maguire, Euro, Heaven, and then Licha, Delit, whatever that looks like. But if those two, is that a dice you guys roll this summer? Do you roll the dice on those two staying fit, or do you just say, you know what? It's hard to get rid of them. You can't just sell them. And if you can't just bring in a new starting center back and then still you got 6 center backs in your match day squad, you got to sell someone. And who's going to buy him? Who's going to buy Delit with a back injury? Who's going to buy Licha if he can't quite seem to shake complications post, ACL and whatever? Then you're stuck a little bit. I know Licha could be due for a new contract soon, if I remember correctly. I don't remember now off the top of my head. We're in a bit of a pickle there with fitness. This is why injury-prone players are an issue. This is why I didn't want to sign Mason Mount. That's why we should have gotten rid of Shaw when he was staying fit in the 22-23 season. Should have sold him then. You make your bed, you lie in it sometimes. You're not thinking about the long term. Sometimes you do have to be ruthless. And I know that's a big shift for me. I'm not usually as ruthless, but I'm just time to start moving on. So Van Hecke for me, if we get an offer for Licha or Delit, take it and let the players pick themselves, man. Yeah, Cresswell is a good box defender. Go check out that scouting report if you guys want to know more about Charlie Cresswell over at Toulouse. Speaking of recruitment and scouting and all that jazz, United scouting ranks could be could be set to become a bit thinner coming up here, because 2 scouts that we have in our ranks are set to be joining FC Basel. Assistant sporting director Andreas Hermann is expected to become their technical director, and our European scout Marco Filipic is going to become their head scout. So nothing's final yet, but it does sound like we're losing a couple of scouts. Maybe Vivel is kind of taking a little bit more power in there. Maybe he's taking on a little bit more responsibility. Maybe he's bringing in some more players, but we've lost a few. They were heavily involved in spearheading United's strategic developmental partnership with clubs throughout Europe. basically kind of like what you see with like how we used to do with like Antwerp and Anderlecht and whatnot. Like just developing a relationship with clubs throughout Europe as kind of utilizing them for loans for our youngsters, using them almost as a pipeline for youngsters for ourselves. It's nothing new. A lot of big clubs do this. They establish mutually beneficial kind of dynamics there that, fast track youth development, talent acquisition, elevates the status of both clubs involved. It looks good for everybody. So, but those two were heavily involved in doing that. I think they were looking out in like Serbia or something. I don't remember off the top of my head, but we'll see. Steph says, "Don't listen to Wilcox." Wilcox did well with Aiden Heaven. I thought. I think he did well to poach him from Arsenal. That was a big flex for us. Steph says, "Players' sentimentality still exists at United. It's got to change." It's hard. It's hard with Licha, right? Because when Licha is fit, I wouldn't sell him at all. Like I wouldn't. He's just what he brings to this side. His mentality, his physicality, his leadership, his ball progression, his press resistance, and he's awesome. I love Licha to death. I'm just getting to a point now where it just can't stay fit. It's not his fault. I'm not mad at him. He didn't do anything wrong. It could be potential long-term issues because of the two very serious contact injuries he had, and then the ACL issue that he had. Like, it's unfortunate. It is what it is. I don't blame players for injuries, but again, it just is what it is. It's the facts. So, yeah, we're gonna forget about Delap. Delap made his bed and he's gonna lie in it. He thought he could go there and play in Europe and everything's gonna be fine. He's kind of like the James Trafford of Chelsea, and James Trafford returning to the city, big money, 30-something million, awesome. Lo and behold, Pep said, "No, I want Donnarumma instead." Delap, "Ooh, hey Chelsea, hey guys, how you doing?" João Pedro, "Oh, it is what it is." Now, I don't have a problem with depth. It's funny because it's not my club, so I don't care. But Delap's, it's on him now and again, players choose a team. Show up in training, show up on the pitch, take your opportunities. But I think the writing's on the wall at Chelsea. Plus, they're effed soon anyway, so it doesn't really matter to me. Yeah, Licha had the potential to be a captain. I think De Ligt had that potential too. This back issue just came out of nowhere, though. I'm really concerned about it. But yeah, I'd be going Van Hecke in a heartbeat and jumping on that before somebody else does, because he's not signing a new contract. They're gonna want to get something for him. So you go throw 35 million, maybe again, give him Collier back, maybe send a youngster on loan or something, and we'll go there. Speaking of staff shakeups, anybody hoping to see Luis Enrique in the Old Trafford dugout next season was probably going to be set for some disappointment coming from Pete Hall. Now, again, Pete Hall is a little iffy of a source, but reports are that Luis Enrique and PSG are going to be set for contract extension talks. So he's not going to be going anywhere. And why would he? I mean, he's got the backing at PSG. They've completely overhauled the way that they do things in terms of recruitment and stuff. It's no longer the Galactico, the Mbappes, the Messis, the Neymars. They've built a good squad. Lots of depth, a lot of young players in there. Their midfield is incredible. Vitinha is one of my favorite midfielders to watch play the game. They're doing really well. There's no need for him to leave unless he's just like, I feel like going to United. So we'll see. I've seen arguments that he'd struggle with these players because he'd need better players. I get it. We're not the squad's not the finished article. We're nowhere near even the middle of a rebuild, and so it is what it is. Is he the guy who can get blood from a stone like Sir Alex used to, or some other managers can? Remains to be seen, right? He had a really good squad at Barca. Obviously, PSG is just like you automatically assume you're going to win the French league with PSG. The challenge at PSG is the Champions League, and he did it. I don't agree that he's snubbed United to do this. So don't you guys? I've told you how many times I've told you with managers, with players, journalists will do this. They will link us to every player under the sun, literally just so that when that player does not signs for somebody else, they can say this player snubs United, because it more clicks for them to include United in the story somehow. Because if it was just like, oh, this player signed for Chelsea, or no one would care. no one would care at all, because more often than not, we're not actually talking. Like, we haven't actually spoken to Luis Enrique, so he's not snubbing anything. He's just choosing to stay at PSG. It's just the same with Thomas Tuchel at England. Like, that's just the way it is. So player, like, the media will do this. So just keep an eye out for that kind of stuff, you guys. You guys are smart. I don't think you guys have any problem with this. Let's see. Danny says Enrique wouldn't come near owners. Yeah, I mean, again, we are kind of moving into that modern mold of, and I mean, Liverpool have been doing this for a decade. Liverpool did this under Klopp. It was, this is how we want to play. These are the players. Klopp suits the way we want to play. Klopp didn't want Mo Salah. He wanted Julian Brandt. He got Mo Salah. More often than not, this isn't 30 years ago. This isn't Fergie and David Gill running the show. This is how modern football is now. You've got a recruitment structure. The manager's there to coach. Not even calling them managers anymore. And moved on. Since Ten Hag, we've moved on. Ten Hag had a little too much power in signings, in my opinion. Doesn't help that he was kind of blurring the lines with his agency, and it's convenient that a lot of these players we were signing were switching to Ten Hag's agency. But it is what it is. Steph says Enrique is never coming. His people using United's name to secure a longer contract. Yeah, again, and that's always a factor you guys want to consider. Whenever we're linked with a player, like randomly like this, go and check their contract situation. Go and check how many minutes they're getting, and we'll go and check their wages and stuff. That will sometimes be an indicator of, is this a little bit more agent talk or not? You guys remember Sergio Ramos, like, using us way back, what was that, 2014? I would have loved Sergio Ramos. He's one of my favorite center backs of all time. I loved him, especially Clásicos. Clásicos are too soft now. I love watching those Clásicos back when, like, he would just muller everybody. He and Messi just going at it. Marcelo just doing the silkiest things you could think of on the ball. Those are some excellent Clásicos. Cruz, Modric, Casemiro, like, loved them. Loved them, loved them, loved them. Game's soft now. And La Liga now is just a lot of rolling around and diving. I hate when we get drawn against Spanish sides in European competition, because you know they're just going to roll on the ground for 80% of the game, dude. It's so annoying. Steph says, Sergio Ramos did, yeah. Everybody does it, man. It's the way we do. Ghosted says, why would a top ambitious player want to come to a club with a confirmed manager? Not sure what you mean there. Why would a top ambitious player want to come to a club with a You just described transfers in general. Players will come to a club when the manager is confirmed. The issue is when there's not a confirmed. Now, if that's what you meant, I agree. Players want to know who they're playing for, but I'm just going by what you wrote. So if you're, hopefully I covered both both sides of that. Big up Sanchi. Sanchi's in the house. Hope you're doing well, Sanchi. Good to see you again. Guys, how many likes do we have, Steph? Are you on that for me? Steph's usually pretty good at that stuff. 67 people watching. I want to see 67 likes. You guys, make sure you hit that button. Make sure you subscribe if you are new. United, we're taking a little bit of a trip. It sounds like 20 likes. Come on, you guys. Come on, you can do better than that. I want to see that. I want to see that doubled before we wrap up here. I'm starting to think that United or Carrick maybe watch this channel, because literally just a few days after I criticized Michael Carrick's changes to the way United train and prepare on match day, backed by strength and conditioning and sports psychology data, by the way. Again, go watch those 2 videos on Michael Carrick for and against hiring him. So no sooner than a day or so after I do that, we get word from Andy Mitten, again, good source, that United are set to go to Northern Ireland for several days on the tail end of this international break to train. So from April 6th to the 9th, they will travel to Northern Ireland, Johnny Evans' neck of the woods, right? Undergo intensive training to prepare for the home stretch of the season with just 7 games left to go. 21 points to play for between now and the end of the season, you guys. I've seen the MEN claim that it'll only take 10 points for United to qualify for Champions League, I think. Couple of big 6-pointers in there for our rivals. I think City play Arsenal, right? We've got to play Liverpool again, Chelsea, I think, too. We could catch City as well if they keep slipping. We're not that far behind City. Arsenal, we do have, everybody's got a game in hand on Arsenal, so City could check. So I did put a poll in the chat. Let me check back in. So the question is, what would you prefer as United fans, right? Would you prefer, let me get down with the poll and make sure you vote is there. We've got 31 votes, you guys. Would you rather Arsenal win the league, but United finish second, so we leapfrog City, but Arsenal still win the league? Meh. Or Would you rather City overtake Arsenal? Maybe Arsenal bottle it. City win the league, but we finish third. What's more important, you finishing second and Arsenal winning, or finishing third and Arsenal not winning? If I voted, dude, I would like because I can't vote, right? It's my poll. I'm definitely voting that City win. Now, most of you, it's close, right? 55% of you would actually be okay with Arsenal winning if we got second place. 45% would take third and City win. I don't have a problem with City winning, honestly. It's everything they just like Chelsea, everything they win has an asterisk next to it. Chelsea literally confirmed asterisk FC, by the way. City could be joining them. Um, Chelsea stuff's not finished. Go watch some of what Stefan Borsen's been saying on Talksport. But the Chelsea drama's not done. I guarantee you that. But because they still got open charges that haven't even been dealt with yet. But let City win anything. I don't care because everything's got an asterisk. It's all hollow. Nothing counts. If Arsenal win, yes, they'll do it one corner kick at a time, but it'll be legitimate. Like when Liverpool win, it's legit. Like they've done it, they've played, they earned. There's no cheating involved or anything like that. It's like so that's why I don't care as much if City win. Let City win anything they want. It literally doesn't matter. Um, but most of you guys, which is surprising to me, would rather get second. So you guys would rather finish a point. What is finishing like? Let me ask you again. I'm not trying to say you're wrong. I just want to know where you're coming from. What difference would finishing second versus finishing third mean at the end of the day, especially if Arsenal win the league? Um, I would their fans are already unbearable, and like guys like Martin Keown, they like to throw out like, oh, everybody hates Arsenal. No, Martin, we hate Arsenal fans because you guys are the most unbearable. You've got no room to walk around with chest, and yet somehow you do. And if you want proof, look at how quickly any Arsenal fan who happens to just be around a conversation about football will step in and make it about Arsenal. Well, what about Arsenal? Well, what about Arsenal? No one is talking about Arsenal. You know why? Because nobody cares about fucking Arsenal. Nobody cares except their own fans. That's why they're unbearable now. We can't handle it. We can't have them winning the league. That would just I'd have to just not do a channel for it because I can't be around football at that point. I cannot do it. Ghosted says, "Why are you trying to get a job at a top club?" And I mean, do I have expertise? I have a ring light and a YouTube account. That's about the extent of my expertise. Plus, I live in the U.S., bro. I appreciate that. I mean, big up, man. But it's really hard for me to work in the U.K. when I live in the U.S. Unfortunately. But now I enjoy it. Like these kind of conversations, all the footy I watch, the research I do, the articles I read, the data I look at. I do that all on my own. I was doing that before I had the channel, so I figured if I'm going to be doing it, might as well put a camera in front of me and do it like this. It's basically just the Ryan Reynolds of football shows. Ryan Reynolds is just Ryan Reynolds with a camera, no matter what he does. This is me. I just have a camera, but I appreciate that, man. I do enjoy it. I'm not an expert. Far from it. I have no coaching badges. I've got nothing like that, but I do enjoy it. Appreciate that. Make this man head scout. Honestly, I would like being a director of football. That would be fun. But scouting would be a little more fun. You probably get to travel more as a scout. Unfortunately, now clubs when they're hiring scouts, they're not like scouts. Like it's not like a flat cap and a clipboard on a foggy Sunday morning on a dirty pitch someplace. It's not the way it does. They're not even hiring football people as scouts anymore. If you've got a degree in like data analysis or computer science, that's who they're looking at because they're basically running algorithms through AI, and they just want people who can read data, who can write algorithms, who know how to use things like Python and whatnot. Those are the people that clubs are hiring now because that's where football is now. I think there's always going to be a space in there for watching players because there are things that are you can't measure like the personality aspects and stuff. Like how do you measure leadership? How do you measure resilience? And so you can't get that from an algorithm or like a GPS chest strap or something. There's a space I think for people like that. It's just that space is shrinking little by little, unfortunately. It is what I appreciate the the backing from all you guys. So yeah, Stephanie, Man City's trophies don't count. Arsenal, I just can't stand Arsenal, dude. I just can't do it. Tobias says, I think Arsenal too far ahead. Well, they've bottled it in the past. 7 games. They've got 6 games to go, I think, too. So it could happen. There was a time where I would have, like I've said many times throughout the season, I'm not worried about Arsenal winning it. The factor I never considered was how bad City have been, especially these last month or so. They're just dropping points unnecessarily. And you can't do that. Dropping points against West Ham, dropping points against Spurs, that might have been it. I do still think that the Arsenal City match next month will play a big role. Obviously, City beat Arsenal in the Carabao Cup final. Arsenal did not look good at all. Arsenal looked scared to lose. And that is the factor that always makes me think Arsenal can bottle it, is they're too afraid of bottling. It'd almost be better for Arsenal if City were ahead by a couple points instead of Arsenal being ahead, because Arsenal can't handle it when they're in a race and they have to look behind when they hear footsteps. They always seem to stumble, because that's what happens when you're running and you look behind you. You stumble. If you're chasing something, it's a little different. Ghosted says, let Arsenal win the Premier League. Most of their fan base will get I can't handle Arsenal. It's bad enough when Liverpool win it. I just can't do it, man. Tobias says, finishing second is not United DNA. Either win it or don't show up in the top three. There you go. No, Arsenal fans don't deserve anything, Ghosted. I appreciate your input, but Arsenal fans don't deserve anything. They really don't. I just can't handle it. So you guys keep voting. Liverpool, what's going on with Mo Salah, you guys? Because this guy came out with a video. This reeked of Cristiano Ronaldo. This reeks of just, I hate when people do this. Like, he decided he's leaving Liverpool, decided he wanted to do a little video about it, because it's bad enough he wasn't getting enough attention, apparently, when he's making comments during international breaks and whatnot, when he's throwing up a stink, when he's throwing the club under the bus. None of that attention is enough, but now he's got to continue making it all about Mo Salah. And you got to do a little video to basically derail Liverpool's. It does have the potential to derail. You remember what happened when Jurgen Klopp announced mid-season that he was leaving Liverpool? What happened to the rest of their season, right? Completely fell apart. Final season after, 9-10 years in the league, this supposedly top-class manager, world-class manager, Jurgen Klopp, his final season in English football, he did exactly the same thing as Ten Hag did in his first season in English football. Third place, Carabao Cup. Like, he's not a good manager, but I don't like these just wait till the end of the season to announce it, or wait before the end of the home game or something to announce it. And he's leaving for free. So that new contract from Mo Salah was money well spent, right? I just don't get that, man. And it's funny too, the difference, but the stark contrast between the way Liverpool fans treated Trent Alexander-Arnold leaving for free versus Mo Salah. And it just comes down to, they just, like, Mo Salah is the better player, so that's why it always seems the player who's better gets treated a little differently, which is funny, because to me, like, that shouldn't matter, but it is what it is. So, but yeah, big money, did not have a good season, barely played, spouting his mouth off, walking away for free, and Liverpool fans are mad at Arne Slot. Apparently, I just don't get it, man. Remember when Rashford got that big contract and then just completely fell off a cliff form-wise? Like, these guys are mercs. If you guys think there's loyalty in football, you need to get out of the Disney movie that you're living in, because there's no such thing as loyalty in football. There's just not. Big up Kai. Kai's in the house. But yeah, this whole Mo Salah situation, again, not my club, not my problem, but it's just interesting to me the way things work out. But let me look at that poll since I let it open for a couple more minutes, you guys. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, please. I do appreciate that. I'm going to close this poll now. 33 votes. 55% of you would take second place even if Arsenal won, versus taking third place and City overtaking Arsenal. So 55% of you are fine with Arsenal winning a league, and 100% of me is not happy with that result in the poll. So you guys made me sad today. You guys, check below the video player before you take off. There are some products in there from the United vs. Everybody store. Again, 20% off sale still going on. There is a link pinned in the chat as well. A couple other things in there for you too. Some products this time of the year. If you've got a dog, like I do, this is the time of year the weather's warming up. Go take care of your preventatives. And my dog's got liver issues. If your dogs have liver issues, the only treat he gets is cod. There's some cod down there from Petco. So check out some products, you guys. One-of-a-kind gear in the UVE store. Check those memberships for me too. It's the best way to get involved. It is also another way to show your support. Again, never any pressure, never any obligation, but membership does have its privileges. So WhatsApp group, Legends members and whatnot, you get early access to exclusive videos like that Adam Wharton video we did yesterday that was live for members. Everybody else gets it now. Go check that out as well. Why I think Adam Wharton is a perfect signing for United right now. the Michael Carrick vids, all that stuff's in there. There's a lot of it's in the description as well, you guys. But I'm going to leave it there for today. Thank you guys for stopping by. It was great to take a couple days off, kind of chill going into this break, because we still got a couple weeks left. But it's nice to be back in the swing of things. Nice to have some stuff to talk about. And as always, it's excellent to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions and your input. So if you weren't able to catch it live, leave a comment in the comment section of the video. You guys know I will respond to those. Until next time, enjoy the rest of your Friday. Enjoy your weekend. Of course, we'll be back with some big news as that happens. But until then, take it easy, you guys. Thank you again for stopping by, and I will see you guys on the next one. Later.